Okay, welcome to the show. Boy, I have been eagerly awaiting this, but also been scared to death to do this today. And I want to welcome everybody back to round two with Amy Stark, who is, I don't know, she's quickly becoming my new BFF, I think. I'm not sure.
I love it.
I'm not sure why, but you are.
Awesome.
We did another series together, which was fantastic. And it was all around energy transformation through EFT, or emotional freedom technique. And so I agreed. I think I might have just thrown myself at you actually and said, let's do another one. And this time let's do kind of an audio visual one, right? So that
Yeah.
I can actually participate in the EFT program with you. And for those of you who, I'm hoping that you heard the first series, but for those of you who don't know who Amy Stark is, she has a website called starktransformation.com. She's an energy healer, transformation expert, which I am quickly believing very much that is 100% who she is and her gift. Through the work that we've been doing together. And she also has a great podcast called the Ophelia Podcast, which I've been starting to listen to. And I'm excited because you invited me on your podcast at some point.
Yeah.
That's going to
Hopefully
happen.
soon. We're going to interview you.
I'm excited. So let's start a little bit. When we had our first meeting, we talked a lot about the science around the energy and how science and spirit come together. And there were some things that we wanted to talk about that we had not left out, but just we want to kind of discuss again, right? So I want to just throw that over to you about that piece of it before we get started.
Sure. Yeah. So there's just a couple of things I wanted to review for those that may not have heard the podcast, but just get them quick up to speed with a few things about it. Obviously, we went much more in depth than the other one. But the purpose of this podcast or this episode is to show people exactly what the power of EFT really is, like watch it in action, about what's really happening. I'm going to talk you through what I see, the side of EFT that most people can't see, so that you can understand the value of it. So I'll be pointing out things so that you can be looking for it within your own body, in your own mind, in your own patterns. So I'm going to be working with Dawn on a program that she's running, but it'll be interesting to see how it's been trickling down into other areas of her life. And what the ultimate goal of this episode is to find basically the root of this program that she's been running, that she's no longer wanting to be running anymore. And, for me, I've done a lot of energy work. I've, been studying this for 14 years. I've done lots of meditation, so I can pick up on the program really fast. But at home, if you're trying EFT, you can sit with yourself and you say, like, what's a pattern in my life that I don't want to have happen anymore? Or, why do I believe that I shouldn't be able to have that? So those are some questions that you can start asking yourself if you want to change, if you want to have transformation, you need to start sitting with yourself and finding where you're unhappy. And then if you don't know why, that's okay. You can start tapping and say, even though I don't know why this thing doesn't ever work out for me, I deeply love and accept myself. And as you calm down the nervous system, more information becomes available to you, because you are now in your parasympathetic, which is connected to your higher self, your intuition, you're in an expanded state, you're more willing to take in information, and you're not really necessarily running off of programs like on autopilot. So you can transform it much more easily because you're not actually running from that program.
Yes. And talk a little bit before we dive into that. Talk about the 72 genes and the cortisol and all that stuff. That's so fascinating.
Yeah. So I did not come up with EFT, though I wish I had, because it's just so phenomenal. But so this has been researched for the last 20 years or so. And so one of the things that happens within 1 hour of tapping is that 72 genes will be turned on for healing. So that alone is just super awesome. Forget about the fact that you're doing all these other things, which I'll explain in the podcast. you can guarantee, or I shouldn't say guarantee about anything, but that's what the research says,
Yeah.
that 72 genes will be turned on for healing. And that's what we need on this planet right now, right? Lots of healing.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that happens that's really amazing is that cortisol levels drop drastically. So they'll drop. Yeah. So the latest research is even higher than what I'm about to report, but I couldn't remember if it was 36 or 37%, but the research for a long time was saying 24%. And that was still like astronomically low, like meaning that they had never seen it drop so fast in 1 hour. In fact, when I was learning about EFT, the professor that I was learning from said that they were trying to study it, and they took blood samples and they did the EFT, and then they took the blood sample and they sent it off to the lab, and the lab said, our machines are broken because this can't be right. You can't be lowering cortisol levels by 24%. So they said, do it again. I'm sure the person running the experiment was like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
But they did it again and they sent it off and it was still 24%. And they're like, maybe our our machines aren't broken. This is actually happening. So then they studied even further. And, they're finding that it even lowers even, by 36% or 37. I can't remember.
So is it lowering the cortisol level while you're doing it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see that, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
you could take anything that you're stressed out about, start tapping on it, and you'll have a noticeable change in your body. There's many reasons why that is, but that is what it does. It turns on the parasympathetic nervous system when you start tapping. So when you start tapping, you are saying something that's very loving and accepting to yourself, because that's part of EFT. You're getting your body back. You're getting your body checked into the circumstances. So a lot of times when we are in fight or flight, we're checked out. And it's mostly because we're in reptilian brain, right? And you wouldn't want to send a reptilian in to take a test for you, or have a reptilian solve your marriage problems, right?
Right.
So you want to get checked in. You want to be in your frontal lobe, where you're going to be able to come up with words, express yourself more freely, get connected to your intuition and have a better immune system. I mean, this is all stuff that's been proven by science and research, and people just don't know about the value of it. It's just amazing.
Right.
And the thing is it's really based on Chinese medicine, which has been around for 5,000 years. And it's accessing the meridians by tapping on the skin, and it's releasing the energy. So this is the component that I love.
That's important. People need to hear that, because I think a lot of people think this is some kind of woo-woo witchcrafty thing, right? So let's just talk about that piece that you just said.
Sure. Yeah. So of course it's from Chinese medicine. People, Western medicine was like, well, we don't know that exists. Well, they recently found out that it does exist, and it's like, well, we knew 5,000 years ago it did.
Yeah.
But they call it in Western medicine, it's called the premovascular system, and it actually contains, the energy and information based on certain emotions that you have in your body. So like if you're tapping under your eye, that one is about control. So like if you're feeling a lack of control in your life, you can tap on there. It also is related to the stomach meridian line, which would help with digestion. So people who are having digestive problems could tap under the eye and help with that digestion. So that's just one example of where the energy and information is stored. And if you tap on it, you are helping to move it out. Similar to like if there was a car jam, on a crowded street, and you move the one that was broken down, then the traffic can flow. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're tapping and moving,
moving the energy.
Yeah.
So can you, excuse me, can you talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, just some of the other areas that you're going to be tapping on and what they connect to? Because I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
so this is
control. Underneath the eye is control. Yeah.
Oh.
So I'll start from the beginning then.
Yeah.
So there's a spot that's on the hand. So that's right here. And it's a little bit below the pinky on the fatty part of your hand in the middle. And with the energy, or, any of this that I'm describing, don't get caught up in like being perfect or hitting it exactly right or hitting it too many times. This is energy. Using intuition is great, but they do recommend, 7 times on the spot, whatever.
Okay.
I just go until I feel it. I also believe that if you feel like you should start somewhere else on the body, start there. Use your intuition. The reason
Okay.
why when I work with people, it's sort of like a lightning round of releasing energy is because I can see where we need to go. I can feel that there's a clog in that particular meridian.
Yes.
And eventually, if you're tapping, you'll get to that meridian and release it, but it just takes a little longer. So if you're getting some intuition about starting at a different spot, please do so because you'll
Okay.
save time.
Okay. And what is this area for? What is it all
So
connected
this
to?
one helps to release grief or anything related to like heart. So sometimes we talk terribly to ourselves. So that kind of energy and information will be coming out. Any type of grief we might have experienced can come out that way.
Okay.
There's also a tapping spot that I'm going to tell you about that's not in standard tapping, but I really believe it should be. So we'll go to the top of the head. So this is where I see a lot of people have emotions that are stuck. So they're like a lot of thought, like a lot of heavy thoughts, like, consistent thoughts. And when you tap on that, sometimes that's sore. So it's in the center of the head. And if you've ever had a headache and you started rubbing at the top of your head, you'll notice that will get sore. And if you rub that, you can also sometimes release that headache, which is nice.
Okay.
So the inner eyebrow is the next one. So this one is related to frustration and anger. So the two on the eye are frustration and anger. So you want to tap here and then right on the corner of the outside of the eye.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're feeling like, God, I'm so mad that this is happening, go there.
Go here and here.
Got
it.
The inner eyebrow and the outer eye.
Got
and I
it.
like to tap bilaterally just
I do
because I
too.
feel like it's more calming. Yeah. So we'll
I do
that.
too. Okay.
You don't have to, but that's what I do. And so the next one obviously is under the eye. So that we talked about that. That's control.
Okay.
And then under the nose, there's a point where, your frenellum, I think is what it's called, where you're, there's those two lines. You want to tap right underneath there.
Okay.
And that to me links the mind and the body. So that's the connection where we're just like, boom, back into our body, the energy circulating properly. It's really, really fantastic for helping to rewrite programs. So
it does feel good when I tap there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually, I know somebody when they were really little, they were really stressed out. That was her favorite spot to just tap on. And she had no idea. Yeah.
Okay.
So, the next spot is under the lip and chin. So this is going to be, this is going to be where you haven't said things. I just was feeling Dawn's energy in her face. That's why I was laughing.
You can feel me right now because I have a lot. Yeah.
I'm basically a mirror of you right now. Like I've transformed myself into someone that can feel what's going on in your body. So that I can help bring awareness to you and what's going on with you, and then we can help to release it. So the two of us have actually, the other thing that we should mention is that we're how many miles away? I don't know.
Like I don't know. You're in Colorado.
1,000? Yeah. I don't know.
Right.
Something like that. So we're far away, but what we're doing right now is I'm entangled with her energy. So that's part of the quantum field, and quantum physics talks about entanglement. And so she's agreed to be a part of my energy and entangle with me. And that's how we're able to do this.
Love it.
So that's the point underneath the chin. And then the next point is underneath the collarbone. So there's two spots. So if you know what K27 is, that would be here. I'll show you. It's right here.
Right here.
So it might be sore for a lot of people. It can be sore. So you might want to give it a little rub. And then that'll help to move some of the energy and lymph. That. Yeah. So you can tap there. That's called K27. So that's the kidney meridian 27. Okay. So it's the end of the kidney meridian line. And that can be around fear. So we're helping to release some fears from there. And then the next one I'm going to tell you about is actually right over the thymus. And my friend was like, I don't know where the thymus is, but it's like the top of your cleavage, or like where, the heart is usually shown in like a diagram, even though it's mostly to the left. So it's just basically in the center of your chest. So it's not a big deal that you hit it exactly, but
got it.
That's kind of where it is.
Okay.
So this one, I like to say things that you might want to be talking about, like that you're not really proud that you've said or done. And, your heart is really taking the hit. It's been like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Or, you just want to get back into your body and say, I'm sorry I did this. I love you. Let's move on. It's that kind of energy. And it really just helps. And sometimes you'll just feel like I really should tap there. That's also where the thymus is, which helps to pump the lymph and, and all the good things that are going to help your immune system. So that's why I've just intuitively known to include that.
Okay.
But it's not on standard tapping.
Okay.
So then the next 2 points are the liver and spleen. So they're basically where if a woman is wearing a bra, it's where the about a hand's width down if you're a man.
Like right
maybe a little bit higher than that.
Right there.
Yeah, right there.
Okay. And you're just tapping right there. Oh yeah, got that.
Yeah.
Feel
yeah.
that.
So that's the liver and spleen points. And liver usually has to do with anger and like real anger. And spleen is more about worry.
Okay.
So a lot of worrying. Yeah. Who doesn't do that?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So when we're tapping, we're going to be saying what we're working on. So we're going to pick a statement. It's called a setup statement.
Okay.
And we're going to say, even though I'm struggling with X,
Okay.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Yep. And I'm saying it out loud, right?
Yeah, we're going to be,
okay.
It's much better to say this out loud
I think so,
in terms of impact. But if you're laying awake in the middle of the night and you want to get back to sleep, this is another great way to fall asleep because it turns off the fight or flight or, the sympathetic nervous system so that you can calm down and receive sleep. So
I need to do that.
Yeah. Sorry. I just had like this aha moment at that. So I paused for a second. I was like, oh, I like the way you put that. I was talking with spirit.
Oh,
sorry about that.
It's okay. Keep going.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? Sleep. So in speaking out loud. So yeah, when obviously we had just talked about this, with the lips and the mouth. And we were talking about this prior to the podcast. I had an experience where I was talking with a family member and I didn't feel like it was the time to start saying all the things that I know that I could do to help them or that they could do to help themselves. And so I just didn't say it, but then I wound up getting a red neck right after and then coughing and stuff like that. So that was my body trying to release it. But sometimes that doesn't happen and it gets caught up in our jaw and mouth space. So so it's good to talk because you're helping to release that energy, but also tapping is going to help to release that
Tapping's going to help it. It's kind of funny too, because just so the listeners can hear this, before we started, we really didn't, when we left the last podcast, we discussed, okay, you said, bring something that you want to talk about or work on or whatever. And I'm going to do the same and we'll kind of see where we end up. And it's interesting because you came today and said, here's what I think, here's what I'm feeling, here's what I'm thinking. And it basically is the higher level. So the higher self, right? It's the higher level of the stuff I brought to the table, but they're interconnected.
Right. So so basically what I do is I talk to her higher self and I say, okay, what's the program that's running that's causing her to get tripped up a lot? That's basically, if she was going to bring forward, I still don't even know what it is that you wanted to work on, but I said, let's see how it plays out because usually it almost always plays out. So she's got these things that she's working on, but they all appear to be separate, right, to her. But when we talk to her higher self says, hey, I'm running this program. That's what's contributing to the stress in my life. And so that's why it's really important to get to the core or the root of why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. And the thing that I love to tell people to notice is that, when you're experiencing a couple of things in your life, there is usually a common thread. So paying attention to how there could be a common thread or looking at it closer and trying to figure out the common thread is really going to help you move and advance faster.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
When you work with clients, do you see that, and I guess it's probably all dependent upon each person, but do you see that tapping immediately works for a lot of people, or does it take several sessions, or it depends on if they're resistant or
So there's a couple of answers for that. So one is if they're willing to even start tapping, then we're going to see a change in them. When they're not willing to tap and they're not really if they're just like, okay, I'm going to do it. Obviously that's not going to do anything.
That's my husband, by the way.
Yeah. They're not committed. They're not giving it the college try or whatever,
right.
That's why I front load with the science, because I'm like, there's something really happening here. Cause this is totally goofy to do. It's kind of embarrassing if you're doing it, in public. So I want to tell people, like, there's real change that's going to come from this. So it's worth it. In fact,
Yeah.
a lot of my clients have said that they've saved years of therapy in just an hour or two of tapping with me, because we're getting to the root of it. And it's
Wow.
not just with me, it's EFT. EFT is the magic. It's the tool. To really unwind all this trauma that not only have you experienced in this lifetime, but possible other lifetimes, or what you inherited from your parents and your ancestors. So there's this,
Ah,
there's a lot there. And we're going to talk about some of that stuff that you have been imprinted with. That's,
yeah. Let's
kind
fix
of
it.
fucking you up.
It's totally fucking me up. I can't believe how amazing this is right now, and how uh, I'm excited to do it. And my hands are sweating. I'm like nervous, but I feel really excited and vulnerable, um, because I'm so open to it, and I'm just so open to like everybody hearing my shit. I just
Okay,
am.
well that's totally normal, but I will say that the people who know tapping and they know the value of tapping will tell me, Amy, I can't get myself to tap. And that's when you know you really need to tap,
Yeah.
because it's going to be a huge growth period for you, because your body's been wanting this, you've been working towards it, you're getting really close to
Hmm.
this like program that you've been running and like eliminating, and there's a lot of resistance in the body, because the body's like, but we know like what happens when we run that program. It's scary if we were to change things up. I mean, literally that's what our brain tells us, like change is
Yeah.
scary, and you have to tell it no, like this is not working for me anymore. So I always say to people, if you think you should tap and you haven't been, then you definitely should. It's like,
I
just make
agree.
yourself, just sit down and start tapping, and then you'll get calm and you'll be like, oh, I feel so much better.
I agree. And there's so many great videos out there like on YouTube, but there's some corny ones too. Like I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
yours, yeah. I feel like your stuff on your website and everything that you do are just so good. And I think it's because you have this gift. You have this psychic and energy gift that it
Thank
just
you.
makes it so different. It
Right.
just makes
And I
it so
have the science
special.
background. So that I didn't even mention that, we
Yeah.
talked about it in the last podcast, but I never wanted to discover all this stuff, but it happened by accident. And I didn't know that I was psychic or a healer or a medium or could read energy until it happened to me. And then I was like, well, shit, I better figure this out.
Yeah. It's just
um,
amazing.
Thank you. And truly, I've been on a mission to figure out what transforms people the fastest, and biohacking and EFT will do it.
Oh man, I'm excited. Okay, I'm ready.
And
Let's get
clearing your
started.
energy, I should say that, and clearing your energy. Oh, by the way, you said you wanted to tell me something about that. Something amazing happened to you when you cleared your energy. You said, remind me about that. Do you want to talk about that now or later?
Oh, yes. Okay, was I telling you I sent you a message about the other day when I was meditating, correct?
Hmm.
Okay. So I've been using your audio, your podcast where you talked about clearing, I think it's called Clearing Your Energy, correct?
Yeah.
And how do people find that again? Where
So
is
they
that?
go to my website and then they go to the newsletter and they sign up for the newsletter, and it'll be sent to them right away.
Okay, good. Yeah, I signed up, by the way, to your newsletter.
Awesome.
So I was doing a meditation. I'd cleared the energy, and then I was actually doing a meditation where I was visualizing. It's a meditation from Gabby Bernstein stuff, and I was doing this meditation where I was trying to connect with my spirit guides. So she walks you through this whole thing where she talks about how you're on the first floor of a 10-story building and your spirit guides are on 7 and you're going to meet at 5. And she walks you through like, okay, you're walking up the stairs, there's this whole visualization thing that goes with it, right? Which I love. I can't sit in complete total silence and just meditate all the time. Like I can do a little bit of
Right,
that, but I
right,
have
right.
to
Yeah.
have a little bit of guidance.
I'm with you on that.
You
Yeah. I
are?
don't,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So you meet in the middle, and then she talks about there's a door at the top, and you open the door. And when you walk in, you're in your place. Like, everybody has their happy place, right? So you are in your place. So my place is always the same. Nothing ever changes. And the crazy part about this is that many, many years ago, I would say maybe 20 years ago, it had to have been. No, my son's 26. It probably was 23 years ago. I did a guardian angel spirit workshop. And there was a psychic that came in and worked with a group of us, a small group of us. And I had a profound experience that took place. And basically when I went into this area, which is still my area that I envision, it's like a forest, which is so funny because I hate to camp. I mean, I'm not I don't even know why I'm in the frickin' forest. Like I should be.
It's very healing and grounding.
Okay. Yeah. But I feel like I should be at the beach because that's what I love.
Right. Yeah.
So in the water. So I'm in this forest, and it's kind of dark, but yet light is coming through, and I can see like this big log, and it's down at the end of this trail. And on the log, I sat down on the log, and my guardian angel came and sat next to me. And it happened to be at that time my grandmother.
Which one?
On my mom's side.
Oh, okay. She came to me as well. So I wrote her down on my paper.
Oh my God, you did not. That is crazy.
I did. Yeah. So go ahead.
So she would come in and she would sit down and she would talk to me. And it was it scared me at first because it was so clear. It was just so clear. Like she was talking to me, and she looked, she was very sick when she died, but she looked like beautiful. Like she looked
healthy.
Young.
They usually
beautiful.
show you what their best,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. She looked amazing. Right. And my grandmother was stunning. I mean, she looked like Elizabeth Taylor. She was gorgeous. And so we were talking, and anyway, so then I came out of this workshop. Well, when I came out, there was a lot of tears, a lot of stuff, because she had said a lot of things to me. And it kind of, I have to say, I mean, I haven't really told a lot of people this story, but it changed my life. Like that one experience changed my life on my spiritual path. And I kind of tucked it away, whatever. So I am doing this meditation, and that's my place. So I opened the door at the top of the stairs, and I'm in the forest again, and there's the log and everything. And so I'm sitting down, and I'm just getting ready to sit down, and I have a sign that comes whenever I am really in alignment with spirit and I'm asking for guidance. And my sign are geese.
Oh,
which is crazy. Just all of a sudden, randomly, geese, they just came into my world. Right. And so I am sitting in meditation in my backyard. I have a beautiful little fountain area with the running water in the sun, and I'm on the log, and all of a sudden I hear this super loud sound, which of course are the geese, right? And so they are literally, I open my eyes because I'm in this meditation, but I just can't concentrate. Amy, these geese in perfect formation are flying above my head. They're not over to the side. They're not behind me, because sometimes I hear geese and they're just in different places. But you don't hear a lot of geese where I live. I live in Northeast Portland. The only time I really see geese, honestly, is on the golf course. So they are just right over my head, and they're literally just coming up over my head. And I'm like got chills thinking about it. And I freaked the fuck out. I went, oh, and I just went, oh my God. And it was so crazy because I had been asking for some guidance about something, and there were the fucking geese.
Mm.
And
I love it.
I haven't told my husband this story yet because I know that he will think I'm crazy, but I called a couple of my girlfriends that know the story about my geese and the whole thing. And they were like, yeah, that's your sign. You had a sign coming. And the whole day I just felt like I was just completely immersed I was completely grounded is what I'm trying to say. And, but I never got to the point, because I popped out of the meditation because I was so
blown
traumatized.
Away.
That I never got to sit down on the log, because different people come to me now in my spirit. And actually my grandmother comes in and out, but I also have a couple of other spirits that come in. So it was crazy. So you were the first person I was like, I can't wait to tell her.
That's awesome.
About my geese, because I don't know what geese signify, but.
Well, you didn't look it up?
No.
Oh,
should
I would definitely. Birds in general are the, what do they call them? They're like, they connect the earth and the heavens. So that's
Okay.
what
Well, that
their
makes
purpose
sense.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, so actually, I'll tell you something funny about birds. Before I got spiritual, I had been pooped on 19 and a half times by a bird. And then after I finally got spiritual and meditated, I've never been pooped on since. In my family, people would be
Wow.
like, put Amy next to me so I don't have to worry about getting pooped on, because it would be 5 girls laying on the beach all in a row and I'd be the one that get pooped on. I got pooped on right before on my birthday. We were going to the Hard Rock Cafe. We were in a line of like 100 people. I was the one that got pooped on. So anyway, it's just like this thing in my family, and it stopped them when I was 26 years old, when I woke up essentially. And I think they were all like, look up, look up, look up, like, connect the spirit and the,
Yeah.
the earthly world. So anyway, birds are cool. So you should check out what geese mean, because
I need to check it out.
I'm a huge fan of, like, if an animal comes into my life, I look for the significance of it, because usually there's some sort of like information about what you're working on at the time.
Yeah. But this is the thing. That wasn't the first time that geese have showed up when I've been
Right.
meditating.
So to you, that's your
weird.
thing. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
so for me, feathers and dimes, like a dime, 10 cents,
See that.
they'll leave them around. So usually the dime is way more significant. I don't know why it's a dime, but it just became that. And so anytime I'm like wondering something, I'll step out of the car, there's a dime there, or I'll find a dime in my car, which I'm like, I haven't used change in forever. Like, why is this even here? Or I'll be wondering something, open up a drawer and there's a dime in there, and you're like, why is there a dime in my underwear drawer? Like, it doesn't make sense. So I say, pay attention.
Oh, man. Yeah. What else did you feel when I was telling that story? Did you feel there was?
So the thing that came through, and I can even like hold up my notes, but they're just scribble, but you can see right here, I wrote grandmother. Can you see it?
Yes.
So I wrote, grandma's listening to your podcast.
Good.
That one, the mother.
I'm sure she's very opinionated.
No, she's healing. See, that's the thing.
Okay.
She's on the other side. She's not like in a judgmental mode.
Like, okay,
once
good.
you get to the other side, it's all love and light over there. Okay, as the ones that I'm talking to. She was, and I even said to her, I'm like, are you listening to mine or is it hers? And she was like, it's hers. I'm listening to hers and we're healing. So,
I love that.
Like the lineage is what is healing. So she wanted to send that message, but we'll get into deeper, well, I guess may as well ask now because we're talking about it. Yeah. When did your grandmother pass?
I was 17 or almost 18. So 84 or 85. Okay.
So what I was picking up on was, when you were in utero, there was, something that your mom was mourning, and I didn't think that it was grandma, though she came around at the time when I was looking at mourning. So, mourning as an MOURNING. So when you were in utero, your mom was really sad and working through a tragedy, is what I was told. So we can talk about that kind of information. So I think on the last podcast, we talked about how we were in our mom, obviously, because we were an egg that was in our mom, but then our mom was in our grandmother. So we technically are from our grandmother, energy wise and information wise. And actually based on science and following genetics or following, generations of like rats or whatever they're looking at, they think that maybe humans hold on to energy and information from 70 lifetimes. So, or 70 generations.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that usually is maladaptive behavior. So it's usually like there was a tragedy back then, but you hold on to it just in case there's another tragedy like that again.
Interesting.
And you're like, we're not dying of typhoid anymore. So like, we can probably let that one go.
Yeah, exactly.
But the mitochondria are what's storing this energy and information, and also the DNA. But, we want to let go of a lot of that stuff. We don't really want to feel like if for instance, our family was in the Holocaust, like that's something that we need to worry about. Like, we don't want to be holding that energy and information in our space, because it can keep us limited.
So I could be holding some of that energy of my mom's or my grandmother's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of times we do need to work on some of that energy and information that we got from our mother. So it could be from, an imprint of trauma. So if you were in the womb and your mom was going through some stuff, like maybe got raped or maybe, had her father die or mother die or something like that. So there's that kind of tragedy. Or it can be lack of food or resources. It could be that she didn't want to get big, so then you don't feel like you can take up space. There's just a lot of programs that can be in the way of our growth as a human being,
Right.
And so we sometimes we unwind. Oh my God, I'll tell you a very interesting story.
Yeah.
I was working with a woman who had a fear of change, and it really, once we started doing the work, we started unwinding, and it really was coming from this idea that she was coming down the fallopian tube. And it's so weird. I'm like, people are like, how do you know it was a fallopian tube? And whatever.
Wow.
I'm like, I was the egg. That's all I can tell you. For a second, I was the egg. I looked down, I was like in the fallopian tube. I knew it. And then I look across and I see another like being. And I'm like, wait a second, what the hell's going on here? I thought I was the only one. So then I felt this energy of like, well, I'm out of here. Like, so then I felt like she wanted to climb back up into the fallopian tube as if that was going to like help her not be, moving forward,
Yeah.
She was like, I want to go back. I forget it. I'm bailing out. But she didn't, because obviously the egg came down and then she was fertilized and then she came to fruition and became a human. So we tapped on her seeing her other sister. And as soon as we did that, her fear of change totally left. And her programming was rewritten, and she realized, oh my gosh, I actually like change. Like I really actually have wanted to embrace change, but haven't. And her entire career and friendships and things like that changed, and her orientation to the world changed from us finding out from that one moment. Now, people are like, well, I don't know that stuff. And, so maybe EFT is not gonna work for me. And I will tell you, if you keep tapping, you will find that energy and information. You might not know or recognize it or read it the way that I do, but it'll move out.
God, that is amazing.
Yeah. She will tell you to this day, like she still can't believe that happened and she had a fear of change and then no longer does.
It's interesting. Whenever you talk, the times that we spend together, I feel our energies are definitely connected right now, but I start to get like, when you get like a rush of energy or adrenaline or goosebumps or whatever, whenever you're talking, I feel that. It's kind of crazy.
My producer says that all the time when he's listening to the podcast that I record, he gets shivers down his spine.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting when you talk.
That's funny. Yeah, it's because I'm speaking the truth, because I'm telling you what I really saw and how connected I was, and your body recognizes the truth that I'm sharing. And it doesn't have to necessarily be taken in if you don't want to, but it's available if you want it.
I love it. Yeah.
So let's do your healing.
Okay, let's do it. I need it. Wait,
okay.
Let me get a drink of water. Hold
okay.
on.
That's totally fine. I will just say there's also something that for the skeptics out there or anybody who really wants to just see the change happen, there's something called a SUDS rating. Okay, so before we get started with this, I just want to add one more thing. For the people who want to be able to see change like within themselves, they can take a SUDS rating, which is just on a scale of 0 to 10. It's a subjective something or other rating. I forget what it's called exactly or what it stands for, but it's basically a subjective rating on how you're feeling about it. So you can say, this is bothering me at a level 10, which is terrible. Or if it was 0, you really wouldn't be doing any tapping about it because it's not an issue. So anywhere in there, you want to find yourself and say, okay, this is maybe an 8. I try to encourage people not to pick a 7 because that's lame. Because it's kind of like, it's not really bothering me. I'm not really willing to look at this. But if it is a 7, still do it. I would just try to urge you to pick one or the other. Okay. And what can happen with tapping is that sometimes you'll be like, well, that doesn't really bother me. And so say they're like, it's a 4. And then they start tapping. It'll go all the way up to like a 10 because they finally got checked in. They started realizing what the fuck was going on in their lives and started getting angry about it and being like, this is something I haven't been looking at. And then so it goes all the way up to a 10 and then it'll come back down. So it's interesting to watch. I've done thousands of sessions where I just forget to even take that number because I know when it's over. I know when I'm done. I know when it's cleared. But for those that are beginning, it's definitely good to to take that rating. So we're going to work on hard work equals success.
Yeah.
So that's a program that many of us run. So that's probably why it was chosen also, and why we're doing this on this day. Yeah. So the divine nature of everything has everything lined up. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and this is, and just so everybody knows, this is what you felt when you
what I picked up from your higher self of what's in charge of a lot of the things that are going on in your life that are bothering you.
Man, and boy, did that hit it on the head. I wrote it down and I was like, what? And then you
really?
You said, no, well, after you told me, no, I wrote it down. And then when you said addiction for emotion and connection, I was like, okay, get out of my head, Amy.
Yeah. So essentially underlying all of this, we're going to be working on her addiction to feeling, to emotion, to the feeling alive. So we're going to talk about why that is. And like I said, some of this comes from in utero, some of it I picked up from dad. So there's programming that we get from people throughout our lives. So we'll work on that. And when I tune in and talk to your higher self, I say, show me the chakras that this is related to. So I also use my energy training to listen to the wisdom of the body. So seventh chakra, which is around role, or how you view yourself as an identity. That's being pinged right now. Fear of the unknown is being pinged. So that's the sixth chakra. The third chakra is around control, empowerment. It's like, that one's a big one. And for most of us. And the second chakra is coming up for emotions. So obviously we were just talking about that, emotions and the addiction to emotions. But ultimately, the thing that's going to get the healing the most is the sixth chakra, which is up here in your head. So it's basically the point of our sixth chakra and our brain. If you look at it energy wise, our brain and our heart, and then a couple other areas have really strong energy frequencies. Like they measure it, they know that it's really strong. The heart's much stronger. But anyway, the brain will send out a signal to the world of what you're looking for. And that's what you want to do, is you want to think about it and send that signal out. But a lot of times what people do who have chronic illness is be hypervigilant. And they will be looking for how they're going to get hurt, or is this person safe, or am I supposed to do this? And so there's a lot of energy that's wasted on fear, or trying to figure out what the unknown is, or when the other shoe is going to drop. And that creates, in my opinion, chronic illness, because you're in constant vigilance, constant fight or flight. And it just like trickles down to the rest of the body. And it just, like I said, EFT turns off the parasympathetic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, and puts us into the parasympathetic, which is rest and digest and heal. So we're going to work on that, the fear of the unknown, moving forward. So this, I'll talk about some symbolism that I was just like, I want to know more. So stepping forward was unsafe, but taking a zip line was great. So I thought it was interesting because I saw you in the trees, which is interesting because you picked up the woods and the forest. So maybe there's some sort of healing that is necessary for you to go out into the forest.
And I have ziplined, which I love.
Wait, you have a zip line?
No, I have ziplined.
Oh, you have zip line. I was like, what?
Yes, I've got one in my backyard here in Portland. No, I'm kidding.
So that's so funny. So ziplining was okay. And if you think about ziplining, what I heard from you was like, woo, moving forward, like totally unafraid and open-minded, and, like
That's
chest
me.
was open. So it's like interesting how if you do it in a non-traditional way to move forward, you're fine with it. But if it's traditional, like using your foot, one foot in front of the other to step forward, you're afraid. You're like, I literally saw you like not wanting to step forward and just like trying to feel the ground first, very slowly moving forward. And so we don't really want that. That's the vigilance. That's the, I don't know what's next, so I'm scared. So I'm going to go really, really cautiously and slowly. But then I saw this other image of you. Well, give me a zip line and I'm off. So we'll dive into that.
Okay.
And then, so then you started showing me in your third chakra about hard work. So you were like 1 + 1 = 3. And I was like, well, that doesn't work out. So tell me more. And you were like, hard work plus luck equals magic. And so the 3 was the magic. It didn't add up. Like, so people think they put in 1 + 1 = 3. And I was like, well, that's not such a terrible equation. Let me look closer. What if I replace the hard work with not working hard and just having fun and doing what you love? And you were like, same equation. So then I was like, I see. It's the hard work is the problem. There's this thing I have to do. I have to do hard work in order for the magic to happen. Otherwise the magic won't happen. But that's not the truth. So your higher self was explaining that to me. So we'll do some tapping around that.
Wow, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, so then you flat out said to me, you said, I have to work hard in order to initiate success. So we'll actually use that phrase.
That is an old program, not mine.
Okay. Well, we can go through and find out where that came from. So I also saw that your third chakra was like a washing machine. There was no control. There was just like this, no voice. So that was interesting that came up. I knew when you were talking, I'm like, I saw that the job, but I couldn't figure out where, because it was just written tiny. And there was grief in there. So we'll tap on some of that grief of like feeling I need to really work hard and not be able to speak up. And oftentimes people abuse their body. So they work too hard and their body's like, hey, take a nap or stop working so hard, or we need some more balance, but we will move forward and not listen. So the sixth chakra will be like, fuck you, I'm moving forward without you. And the body's like, well, you're not going anywhere without me. So then, so hard work buries my soul was another thing that you said to me. So we'll tap on that. And that came from Dad. So are we allowed to talk about?
Yeah. Talk about anything.
Okay. So Dad was unhappy, no expression, and dead inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds
there we go.
Right.
sounds great. But basically, so you called it dead inside. So his spirit wasn't lit up. Like he wasn't enjoying life. He was vacant. He was just a shell of himself. So, but Dad, the program around hard work came from Dad. So you paired dead soul and working hard, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting how our brain works and how we put these things together. So then the second chakra came up and then you were like, give me feelings. Then you're like, I want feelings.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I want to feel something. And then I was like, wow, that sounds like an addiction. And then I felt a thrill for emotion and connection. And it wasn't, I'm saying it like a little bit more devious there, but really, truly, it was the zip line feeling. It was you wanting the zip line feeling for any time to move forward. So it was about wanting to connect to emotion. And as you know, sometimes with addiction, there can be cutting, there can be, this feel like I want to feel something, I want control over something, so people will hurt their body. So that energy was in there. So we'll clear that. Okay. And then, related to that was, like I said, the in utero mom, experiencing some sort of tragedy. And what we can do is we can just tap on it. Maybe you don't know what the tragedy was. Maybe you don't know who she might've lost. That's fine. We will tap on it, move out that energy, because if mom is sad, you're sad, you know, because think about it. If your mom's sad and you're in there and you're like, what's going on? Like, what the hell? I can't see things. I don't know what's going on, but I can feel it. So that can create this hypervigilance. And I mentioned your grandmother coming through and saying, I listened to her podcast and we're all healing. So like, thanks.
I love that. Oh man, I just love that you just dialed in on so many things.
Thank you. What I'm trying to do is put a puzzle together. So I get some information. I talk to your higher self. I talk to you about how you're feeling. It's interesting. I was going to ask you this. Do you have any knee problems?
I do.
Okay. So knee problems are moving forward. So it'd be interesting to see if this helps with the knee problems. God. So the knee energy.
It's amazing that you just picked that up.
Yeah, I was like that when anyway. So what we want to do is on a scale of 0 to 10. So actually, let me just tell the listeners this one thing. By me going over all this deep energy and talking to her about it, lit up that whole neural network in her brain that is connected to the program of hard work equals success. So it's lit up. So now we can take it down. You have to light up the program and the energy of it so that it can be dismantled, because the brain's like, oh yeah, hard work equals success. We know that one. Let's go. And then if we start tapping, the tapping will cause us to calm down. And the brain is like, wait a second. Normally when we think of, hard work equals success, we freak out. We're in like hyper mode, but now we're feeling calm. This is a dangerous program. Let's take it down and rewrite it. So you begin to rewrite the program as we're tapping and releasing the energy. And that's how you get a new orientation to the world. And your truth comes in and you live by that instead of this other thing that got given to you.
God. Should I go to the bathroom first?
It may be fast because we've talked a lot, but you can if you want.
We can always cut this into 2 parts, right?
We can. But like I said, when people work with me, because I know exactly what the problem is and I know where the energy is and I know where to go, it's going to be like a lightning round. That's why I said,
let's do
talk.
it. Okay.
Let's talk about it. Okay.
Let's do it. Okay.
And anybody who's doing any kind of tapping, make sure that you drink a lot of water, because it can detox actual toxins in your body as well as emotions. So drinking lots of water is always important.
Okay. I'm going to drink some water right now.
And I guess I should say you should check with your physician to make sure that it's okay.
Yes. Say that. Okay.
Okay. Take a deep breath in and out. I like to breathe in and out because it sends the signal right away to the body, like, oh, something new is happening and, life is good and I'm okay. All right, can you hear me well enough if I step back a little bit? Because we're going to be doing
can
the
hear
tapping.
you great.
Okay, good. So take another deep breath in and out. This is where we're going to be settling into our body, taking a look around. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you think you've struggled with the program hard work equals success?
9.
Okay. So this is where I can feel like my clients are a little bit lying sometimes. And I feel like it's a 9-10.
Okay. Am I lying?
Yeah. Sometimes it's funny. We're like, I don't want to admit that it's bothering me that much, but that's okay. We'll go with the 9.
Okay. It's a 9+. How's that?
Yeah. It's a 9+. I will agree with that. So take another deep breath in and out. Is that something that you
can't
want?
Get anything past you.
No, I am like a human lie detector. So let me ask you something. Is this something that you want to change?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because you know what I love to do is just think of all the people who didn't put hard work in and were successful. What the hell are they doing that I'm not, right?
Yeah.
That's all you have to do is just find that one person or those moments or just that intuition or that knowingness that isn't my truth. I know that things can happen, that I can work but still enjoy what I'm doing and still produce massively successful things. Okay, so take another deep breath in and out. So actually, let's go under the nose because that's where I'm getting called to. So we're going to say, even though this is a level 9.
This is a level 9.
Plus.
I
deeply love and accept myself. Whew. Do you feel that shiver going down your back?
Yeah.
Yep. Take a deep breath in and out. Even though I've believed that hard work equals success. Okay. So right now I'm feeling that in your heart and your throat. It's like, oh. So take a deep breath in and out and breathe into that grief. Good. So we talked about that, the grief and the no voice, right? So that's what we're talking about. Slide on down to underneath the chin or underneath the lip on the chin. Okay. Even though I've experienced a lot of grief and sadness. I still love and accept myself. Do you want to say I love and accept myself?
I still love and accept myself.
Good. You don't have to say love and accept myself if you don't want to. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you want to say I'm willing to love and accept myself. But really what's keeping us from loving and accepting ourselves is trauma. It's people's trauma that they've either put in our space or made us feel or we felt because of them. So it's our interpretation of what happened. So take another deep breath in and out. Let's go with the inner eyebrow because I'm feeling there's some anger there. Anger towards the self. Do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
So even though I'm feeling angry with myself
Even though I'm feeling angry with myself
for doing this,
for doing this,
for constantly running this program and abusing my body.
for constantly running this program and abusing my body,
Good. I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Right. So a lot of times we don't even talk about how mean we are to ourselves, right? We, as a society, we don't. But I tell you what, when you start meditating, you start to hear all the things that we've said to ourselves and say to ourselves repeatedly. And we wouldn't say that to our worst enemy.
Right.
So there's a lot of that grief that gets stored in the body. And then right now when we're tapping, it's getting released. So let's take a deep breath in and out. Good. Do you feel that in the back of the head right now, into your back of your neck? That's the fight or flight that's starting to come off. Okay. So that's the energy draining out of that amygdala and reptilian brain. Let's go back under the nose. Take a deep breath in and out. Even though.
Ooh,
gee, I just felt like I was going to throw up. Are you okay?
Yeah, I feel nauseous.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I do. I feel nauseous.
Yeah. I feel like you're going to throw up. Hold on a second. I'm going to help you move that out. Take another deep breath in and out. Good. Oh. I've actually had one person throw up on me.
I'm not going to throw. I feel good.
Okay,
now.
Good.
I feel better.
Take a deep breath in and out. Yeah, I helped you move that out. So I've set the room. The energy, my energy is very high right now. I'm channeling awesome energy, and that's helping to her to move this energy as well. So under the nose, good. Even though I just felt really nauseous and felt like I was going to throw up and leave my body, I wanted to check out.
Even though I felt really nauseous and wanted to leave my body and check out.
Did you feel that? Like now you can feel the bottoms of your feet, right?
Uh-huh.
Good. So a lot of times when we start tapping on this deep trauma, we can want to leave our body and check out. And it actually looks like the chakras are upside down to me. But I'm calling you back in and I'm here. And it's going to be about 90 seconds that we're going to need you to stay in your body in order to keep moving this trauma. So keep tapping right under the nose. Remember when I said that helps connect the mind and the body? It's kind of like, hey, come back, come on in here. It's safe. We're safe. Here we are. We're safe. Say that.
Here we are. We're safe. We're safe.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
We're safe.
We're safe.
Everyone's safe.
Everyone's safe.
We're safe.
We're safe.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
Good. Deep breath in and out. Good. Okay. So the energy in that meridian that was on the top of the head. So the meridian goes this way.
Yeah.
The energy is starting to drain back. So it's going down the spine. That's good. Take another deep breath in and out. Do you feel you're starting to look better in your eyes? You're almost like seeing more clearly to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel better. Uh-huh.
Good. Underneath the nose, take a deep breath in and out. Oh, I feel a little of that nausea coming back. Deep breath in and out. Let's talk about that nausea. Even though I have a little bit of nausea.
Even though I have a little bit of nausea.
Do you get acid reflux or anything like that?
Oh, sister. Yes, I do.
Okay. So sometimes this is just that energy that's trapped. So so that's what I'm feeling. It's bouncing back and forth between your throat and your stomach. Yeah. So take another deep breath in and out. Okay. I'm going to help you ground just right now. So just hang on one second. Deep breath in and out. Good. Let's go to the heart chakra or the heart meridian line. It accesses the heart chakra. So I just got it confused. So even though I've experienced a lot of trauma,
a
lot of not feeling safe,
not feeling safe
in my body, Ooh, that's a big one. Do you feel that? Breathe into it. So do you take yoga or no yoga at all? Okay.
I do a lot of yoga.
So you know when you are in a stretch and you know that if you breathe deeper, you'll get into that stretch?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now. That energy is all really tight between your heart and your throat.
Yeah.
And so if you just breathe into it, it helps to relax it and release it. So even though I've experienced a lot of trauma,
I still love and accept myself. I still love and accept myself.
Ooh, the anger's coming back up. So let's talk about that. Take a deep breath in and out. Even though I'm angry that I've experienced a lot of trauma.
Even though I'm angry that I've experienced a lot of trauma.
Okay. My parasympathetic nervous system just, reset. And that was the burp there. So even though I've experienced a lot of trauma.
I've experienced a lot of trauma.
Okay. Do you see right now how your body's getting almost neutral to it?
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel that? So you're right at the cusp of when this new reticular activating system is going to start to see the world differently because we've moved this energy. So you're right on the cusp. So let's take a deep breath in and out. So we're going to go to the inner eyebrow. And we're going to say, even though, keep your eyes open for me.
Even though
I've experienced a lot of trauma.
I've experienced a lot of trauma.
And it's made me very sad.
And it's made me very sad.
Oh, do you feel that in your heart? It's like literally your heart breaking. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Deep breath in and out. Good. See, sometimes we just need to acknowledge these emotions that we've had. Good. Really awesome. You're doing so great. Take a deep breath in and out. I'm going to help you move that trauma on your chest. So hang on one second. You can stop tapping for a moment. Whew. Deep breath in and out. Good. You're getting more settled in your body. Do you feel it? It's like you can feel your butt on the chair. You're feeling like you're coming back into your body and it's safe and it feels okay and not scary. Deep breath in and out. Good. Okay, so what I'm actually seeing right now is the lymph in your breasts being cleared. So a lot of times as women, we tend to nurture everyone. And so the energy will get stuck in our breasts. Like it will be stuck in this area. So we're going to just clear that out. So it's really helpful to clear out that area. Deep breath in and out. Sometimes I cough to help release the energy. So let's tap under the nose and we'll say, even though I've been nurturing everyone else but me.
I've been nurturing everyone else but me.
So sometimes it's not actually true in our head, but our body feels that it's true. Do you feel how there's a disconnect there? You're like, no, I nurture myself. I do this, I do that.
Yes.
But your body's like, if I really check in with my body's telling a different story.
Right.
So can you check in and feel that?
Yeah.
So even though I nurture everyone else but me.
Even though I nurture everyone else but me.
So right there, I saw everybody else be more important than you. Everybody coming before you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Even though I put others before me and my needs.
Even though I put others before me.
That's the mouth.
And my needs.
Let's go on the chin. Oh, God. Let's go under the lip. Even though I put the others before me.
I put others before me.
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
You want to check in with your number to see how you're doing? Because you're coming down, but it's not as fast as I thought it would.
Yeah.
What number are you at?
I'm holding on to it still.
Yeah. We'll find it. Don't worry. Has it come down at all?
Yeah, it's come down. It's come down. I feel a lot more grounded right now.
Okay,
I mean, I think I'm probably I feel like you're going to tell me I'm lying, but I feel like I'm about a 7.
Yeah, I think it's more like it's maybe 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we're getting there. We had to get you back into your body, move out some of this heavy trauma, and then it'll start to really pick up speed.
Yeah,
so take a deep breath in and out. We're working on some tough stuff. Do you feel the back of your head draining down the back of your spine? Yeah,
I do.
She's shaking her head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Okay, under the eye. Let's go there. So even though I felt I had no control over that.
Even though I felt I had no control over that.
Putting others before me.
Putting others before me.
I thought I had to do that.
I thought I had to do that.
Even though I thought I had to do that.
even though I thought I had to do that.
Do you feel the inner battle that you have going on about that?
Yeah. Why
So
do I have
basically, I
that?
saw arguing right on your chest.
Yeah. Why am I doing that?
So take a deep breath in and out. Even though I've put others before me,
Even though I've put others before me,
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Good. Wow. Oh, man, that's got a real vice on the back of your neck right there. Take a deep breath in and out. I'm going to help move that out. That's the fight or flight energy again. Whoa. Good. Deep breath in and out. So I'll yawn because it's unconscious energy that's leaving. And so by doing a yawn, it helps to move it out. Good. Good. Okay. Deep breath in and out. Okay. So now your reticular activating system is starting to switch to see, oh, well, I do this, I do that. So maybe I'm not that bad, right? So we're working the energy to see where we've been in alignment with
Right.
The things that we wanted to accomplish, like taking care of ourselves, right? So
Mhm.
we've moved out the trauma from all the times that we didn't take care of ourselves, but knew that we should have. And now we're starting to see I'm making progress, and that's good. And so then we're going to shift our reticular activating system to then see how we are supporting ourselves. And that will bring in more circumstances and things that will support us.
Okay.
Because we're looking for how we're being supported by the universe, right?
Yeah.
Rather than looking at, oh, I'm terrible and I'm not doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. You'll get more of that. So we just shifted. So take a deep breath in and out. So I know that you said you're going to a therapist. So that's one thing that you're doing for yourself, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So then we can just talk about that. Say, even though I've been talking to a therapist.
Even though I've been talking to a therapist.
And hoping to get more in tune or acquainted with myself.
And hoping to get more in tune and acquainted with myself.
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Even though I'm trying to work on this trauma.
Even though I'm trying to work on this trauma.
How do you feel right there about the trauma? Can you find it?
Yeah.
Where do you feel it?
My throat.
Okay. I'm feeling it in the left-hand corner of, that's the left-hand corner of your digestive system. So lower left. Do you get any pains there?
Well, is that where the gallbladder used to be?
No,
okay,
gallbladder would be up and right.
Because I don't have a gallbladder anymore.
Right.
No, I don't have any pain right there right now.
Okay. Or in general.
Yeah, I've gotten it because I have a lot of digestive issues.
Okay, so let's take a deep breath in and out, and let's focus on that area. Let's see. Let's go here. We're going to go to the K27 points. We're going to say, even though I've had problems with my digestion.
Even though I've had problems with my digestion.
Oh my gosh, your digestion was just like, yay, we're being acknowledged. She's looking at us and not with hate and anger, and frustration. Right. So just like, even though I've been having problems with my digestion, I still love and accept myself.
Even though I've been having problems with my digestion, I still love and accept myself.
Think of all the energy that you've sent there that has been, kind of harsh.
Yeah.
Right? You're not supposed to be acting this way. Why are you doing this to me? You should be perfect and I shouldn't have to deal with this. Right?
Totally.
And they're like, but we've just been trying to tell you about something.
Yeah.
So good. Take a deep breath in and out. Digestion is around creation, but also around control.
Yeah.
So let's take a deep breath in and out, or feeling a lack of control. Good. Let's go underneath the nose. Even though I believe that hard work equals success, it feels like you're a 6 now on that.
Even though I believe hard work equals success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
That feels like it's somebody else's story.
Yeah, it is. So are you at a 6 right now?
I feel good about that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's feeling better.
So it's coming down is what you're saying. Okay, good. Take a deep breath in and out. And then I'm going to help you move some more energy because it's just, this layer wants to come off. Good. So do you feel that coming from the back of your head Draining yet again. That's the fight or
Yep.
flight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get a lot on upper necks, upper cervical stuff?
Well, yes, I have a bad neck. My ear's popping too, which is
Oh,
good.
yeah. Yep. Take a deep breath in and out. So when we are tapping, we're tapping on issues because the issues are in the tissues. And so they will relax and, the blood flow will go there and your ears are going to pop. And it's probably because your jaw is starting to relax as well, because we're
Yeah.
talking about the things that have been bothering you that you've been holding in.
Yeah.
So let's take a deep breath in and out. Let's go to that spot that I recommend, which is right over the heart chakra.
Right here.
Yep. And we'll say, even though I have bought into this idea of hard work equals success.
Even though I have bought into this idea that hard work equals success.
Good. I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Whew, gosh, your neck's relaxing yet again. Deep breath in and out. Even though I got this from Dad.
Even though I got this from Dad.
I still love and accept myself.
I still love and accept myself.
Good. Take another deep breath in and out. Let's go under the nose. And we're going to do something that is not related to EFT. It's something that I've added on to EFT.
Okay.
That because I'm intuitive, I just figured out this is something we should say, and that you're giving me the go ahead on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go under the nose,
Okay.
and we're going to say, I now command
I now command
my multidimensional DNA
my multidimensional DNA
to update from this program,
to update from this program,
this understanding
this understanding
that I must work hard
that I must work hard
in order to be successful.
in order to be successful.
Good. Take a deep breath in and out. You can stop tapping. Good. Deep breath in and out. Good. Do you feel that going down your spine? Good.
Yeah, I feel it leaving.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So we're going to now update that you got it from your dad. So
Okay.
we're going to say, I now command
I now command
my multidimensional DNA
my multidimensional DNA
to update from this understanding
to update from this understanding
that I received from my dad,
that I received from my dad,
that I must work hard
that I must work hard
in order to be successful.
in order to be successful.
Wow. Did you feel that releasing around
Yes.
your eyes and your head? Oh, that was the sixth chakra that I said was getting the healing.
Yeah, I feel it.
Deep breath in and out and stop tapping. So right now her body is, go ahead, just you enjoy, I'll talk. Right now her body is resetting. It's releasing this programming that she didn't want. Her truth is coming in. She's getting a new orientation to the world. So I tell people to stop tapping because we want the body to have the opportunity to readjust in the energy and not be so focused on the body part. The body and the energy will reconnect in a minute, but we just want the energy to have that opportunity to shift. Good. Okay. So how are you feeling? Where are you on the scale?
Yeah, I feel great. I mean, honestly, Amy, I can't believe that you dialed in on that because that's something that I didn't even realize was there. So I feel like it was there. You brought it. I mean, obviously it came out and I didn't realize how much I'd been holding on to that program. And now I feel like I'm probably like a 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think your mom, we need to just tap a little bit about your mom.
Yeah.
So when it's a 3, it means that it's some more ancestral energy. So something that was given to you versus something you experienced in this lifetime. I mean, you experienced it in this lifetime, but it was given to you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So let's take a deep breath in and out. Essentially, we're like thanking our ancestors for that program, for how it got us to where we are, because we want to be grateful for everything we experience because it makes us who we are. But at a certain point, we want to start choosing and being conscious of the reality that we want to live in and the body that we want to live in and the programs that we're running. So take another deep breath in and out. Good. Okay. So let's go underneath the nose. And we're going to say, even though Mom experienced trauma in the womb when I was in the womb.
Mom experienced trauma when I was in the womb.
Do you feel that in your body?
Mm-hmm.
It's in your heart and your throat again.
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep breath in and out. See, it's the body keeps the score. The body remembers. Deep breath in and out. Whew. Can you say, even though
Even though
I experienced that trauma
I experienced that trauma
and I don't even know what happened?
and I don't even know what happened.
Oh, do you feel your eyes, the in your eyes? Can you feel that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If
Yes.
it's like the back of your eyes have been so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's right back there.
And
That's
it's
where
kind of like right up, it's like right up in here.
Yeah. So that's your sixth chakra was engaged this whole time trying to figure that out. So we stay hyper vigilant to try to heal that one time when we were in the womb, when mom experienced trauma and we didn't know why. So you've been, oh God, you've been running this program trying to basically heal that moment. So I'd be like, I knew that was going to happen. And as if that would help that little, baby growing in your mom's womb, but it won't. Until we do the healing and we rewrite the program, we release the energy. It's okay that you didn't know what was happening. You just got imprinted with it. There was nothing you could do to stop it. You just were witnessing it and got the imprint of it. So it's time to release the imprint, to change the story, rewrite the script.
Right.
Take a deep breath in and out. Remember how I said the sixth chakra was going to get the healing today? That's what I do. See, 6.
Yeah.
I circle it because that's the one that's the major one getting the healing. And these are the other chakras that are causing it to stay in place. So let's do this. Take a deep breath in and out. Let's go under the nose. We're going to say, I now command.
I now command
My multidimensional DNA.
My multidimensional DNA.
To update from this understanding.
To update from this understanding.
That I received from my mom.
That I received from my mom.
That trauma can happen.
That trauma can happen.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Whoa. Do you feel that going down the back of your neck? Yeah, good. Take a deep breath in and out. Good. Huge deep breath in and out. Good. Deep breath in and out. Please stop tapping. There we go. Good. I'm going to let you sit for a second because you got a lot of updates coming in, girl. Close your eyes and just enjoy it. Just let all that energy just flood in and update your cells and give you this new orientation to the world. Good. Deep breath in and out. Good. So what I hear is like a ping. Done, cooked.
Wow.
You're back to your orientation to the world that you wanted. So
interesting. It's interesting because there's such a connection between my mom and I on a with a common trauma, with trauma and a common denominator of trauma. So that is why that was so powerful. And I can't even believe that you wrote that down as you were, before we even started talking about it. It's crazy.
You hear your voice. It's different.
My voice is different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calmer.
Take a deep breath in and out. So don't try to understand necessarily everything that happened right now.
Okay.
You can look back later. Yeah. I want you to just allow the updates to keep coming in for the next 24 hours. But let's take a look at your hard work equals success mentality or beliefs that
okay.
It was a 9+, 9-10. How do you feel now?
Yeah, I feel like it's it's better. Like I think it's definitely like a 2.
Yeah. So
This
2
still feels like that program is just ingrained
so
in
what
there.
Okay. So a lot of times what people have trouble understanding is that so much can change in 1 hour or 45 minutes or whatever we've been
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
But it is possible. So this, when you asked me how many sessions, I said, it just depends on what you've experienced, how long you've been
Right.
running the program, how much trauma is there. But right now, when it's a 2 or less, I know that your body, because like I said, we moved those cars that were broken down. That
Yes.
energy is now traveling through your body, is releasing and updating. So you want to be real gentle with yourself for the next 24 hours. 24 to 48 actually, I heard for you. So you want to do yoga, you want to like drink water and use essential oils
Yeah.
and be kind to yourself. And if you're drawn to a green juice or something, do that,
Yeah.
because your body is saying, this is what I need to help move this along.
Right.
So yeah, 2 or less is what we're going for
Yeah.
sure.
It feels much better. And I do think that, uh, the connection, the connection and the trauma that I have with my father is so deep. And, it's what I've worked on pretty much my whole life. And yet I can feel that this is something that's never been addressed before in all my therapy, that you just found, that you just picked up on, because I was raised, by, I mean, he's a narcissist, and he was definitely someone who was all about the show, the
Mm-hmm.
outside, right? And
Mm-hmm.
also that you had to work really hard and have a commitment and be driven and do all of these. And you had to have everything had to be lined up in these particular areas for you to ever be worth anything,
Mm-hmm.
for you to be, for anyone to hear you, for anyone to believe you, for anyone um, to be drawn to you. You have to be successful for anyone to take you seriously. And I think I've been running that in my head for a really long time.
Yeah. One thing I do want to update, because there was 2 things actually now that I'm remembering from the work that when I wrote down, you said, I have to work hard to initiate success. So let's just move that out. So let's take a deep breath in and out.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to go under the nose and we're going to say, even though I believe I need to, what'd you say?
I believe I
I
need to
work hard
to
to initiate
success.
Yeah, good. Take a deep breath in and out. You can stop tapping. So right now I see your fight or flight also draining from this gallbladder, or sorry, not gallbladder, this meridian that goes behind our ears. So one of the funny things is you'll see people who don't even have hair do this. And it's because they're trying to calm down their fight or flight.
Oh, I do that all the time. I just did it.
Yeah, they're trying to calm down their fight or flight. It's just an energy meridian.
Oh,
So
crazy.
take a deep breath in and out. We're going to do one more thing, and we're going to say, what, because it really concerns me.
Okay.
You said hard work buries my soul, and it came from your dad because you said he was dead inside. So you equated dead inside with working hard.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Underneath your nose, I now command my multidimensional DNA to update from this understanding that hard work buries my soul. Oh, do you feel that coming off your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Deep breath in and out. You can stop tapping. Yeah. Good.
I wonder why I said that to you.
It's your higher
Our
self.
spirits. Yeah. I wonder what that meant.
Well, because you said your dad was dead inside. He didn't express emotion. It was like conditional. Everything was conditional. I'll love you when you are successful. I'll love you when you look this way. I'll love you when you do this for me. So everything was conditional. So you don't know what it's like to be connected with your true self if that's the programming you're picking up from what you're observing, when you're a little kid. Oh, that's how you get love. That's how you get noticed. That's how you get successful. So, when I work with clients, I whittle away at all all those beliefs that you didn't really want, but you observed and you sort of picked up because you're from the ages of 0 to 7, you're just like in this meditative state where you're trying to make sense of the world around you with very limited understanding of the world. So you're just like, oh, okay, that's how dad is. So then that's how I should be. That's how mom handles that situation. Okay, that's how I'll handle it.
Yeah.
Until you get to be older and you're like, what the fuck has been going on? Like, I don't want to be doing that anymore, but I am.
Yeah.
So that's when you can use EFT to help rewrite those subconscious programming. We live off of our subconscious programming. We're on autopilot like 80 to 90% of the time. So when you meditate and when you start living from the present moment and being conscious, that's when you can create your life, because you're like, fuck, that program doesn't work for me. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
Let's write a new one. Let's have a new orientation to the world. Let's start working in this other direction that is more alignment with who I am.
Yeah. And I think, Amy, it's been in conflict. That old program has been in conflict with like what you described, like the ziplining side of Dawn. Like, I have this other part of me that is such a risk taker and, entrepreneurial, and I want to like be in the moment constantly, and I'm grounded, and I've been in a constant odds with myself, I think, because that part of me is who I am, who I really am. Right. But I've been conditioned and programmed from what you talked about to believe that's not achievable because I'm over here still. God, that's crazy.
Let's just clear that. Let's clear the fact that you think you need to go on a zip line in order to feel and be present, because you said grounded. You're not grounded. If you're on a zip line and you're going like balls out.
Well, I mean, like the excitement of like, I guess what I'm saying is like this kind of stuff, doing the podcast and doing these other things in my life that bring me so much like excitement and joy. Like, I feel like that's a positive, but I hear what you're saying. Like, if you're saying, oh no, you're all over the map, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe I am. But
not all of life is going to be like that, right? Be the zip line, right? It's not supposed to be. We do need this balance. But I think that's the point, is like, you are following your heart. You are doing the podcast. You are learning. You are sharing what you're learning. You're helping to people heal, which is really, really why we're here, is to help heal ourselves, but also connect with others and help them heal. And, when we step into our purpose, everything's coming into alignment. So I'm just watching it. When you step into your purpose, you no longer feel like you need the zip line, though you can experience the zip line. Yeah. Do you understand the difference?
No, I do.
The need is the fight or flight, but the experience of the zip line can be had when you are doing the things that you love. Take a deep breath in and out.
That's big.
Good. Deep breath in and out. So you're not seeking anything outside of you anymore to have that thrill. You're living the thrill. Yeah. You're living from your heart. You created this podcast and it's fucking amazing. And all this cool shit's happening, like geese flying over your head and, meeting these amazing people and
meeting you.
And getting a healing and on something you've been working on forever, and it's all beautiful and it's amazing. And it is the zip line. It's not outside of you. It isn't something you need to seek or be vigilant and waiting for. And it's not something, when you try to seek happiness that's outside of you. So that's where we fall in the third chakra, is if I get that thing, I'll be happy. Go ahead and yawn. She looks like she's about to yawn. It's okay.
I do.
Energy. Yeah.
I thought I was going to sneeze, but I didn't.
Oh, that's sexual energy.
Uh-oh, it is?
Clearing second chakra, as I should say. But when we're seeking happiness, are you going to sneeze?
Oh, sorry. No, I was yawning. Now you're making me think about it.
Oh, now you're yawning. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. When we feel like happiness is outside of us, it can always be taken away from us. But if we have an inner knowingness that happiness is within us, and if we are following our heart, we're going to be happy. If we're putting on the podcast, if that's what we want to do, if we're helping to connect with people or heal people, that's where our happiness is coming from. That's that inner happiness. Nobody can take that away from you. Mm-mm. Right? Nobody can take what I just gave you or what you do for other people, right? Nobody can take that away from you.
No.
Even if the podcast never even came out, you still got it. You got all the energy, all the love. You followed your heart. You felt really good. And the success of the podcast or the success of the things that you're working on is yours.
Yeah.
It's just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
You're already doing it all.
Yeah. Oh, I just love you so much. I wish I could hug you right now.
Well, we can.
I mean,
I'll hug you.
yeah, I just feel it. It's just, that was remarkable. That was just remarkable. You are so gifted. I can't even believe it. I mean, the tears and the emotion that just came up for me was so real. And but I feel a release. I feel, I have to stop carrying around my mom's shit, and I have to stop, and I feel like I feel like all what you just did it for me.
Well, we've definitely worked on a lot. And like I said,
Yeah,
give yourself 24 to 48 hours. It's fine. Your truth's coming in, you're resetting, you're realigning. And then you can take a look at what's still remaining. Do I still have beliefs around mom? Am I still holding space for her when I don't want to? Or am I still not saying what I want to say to her? A lot of times people are like, well, what if I just like move all that energy and then I'm just like, fuck you, mom. I'm like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to say from your truth, fuck you, mom, unless you really did something terrible. When a healed person talks to somebody who caused trauma, they're going to say something that is more in alignment with who they really are, which is, I am sorry that you experienced that. You must have had somebody do that to you.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're that way. And that's why you treated me that way. And I can have compassion for you because you're probably, you experienced something similar.
Oh my God. Yes. You just
take a deep breath in and out. And remember, so do you ever read the 4 agreements?
No.
Oh my God, please read the 4 agreements. It's
I'm
amazing.
writing it down right now. Okay.
It is what everybody should be living by.
Why haven't I read it? Okay.
I don't know. It's really short and easy too.
I'm going to read
There's
it.
probably an audio book, but also The Mastery of Love, which is also by the same author, Don Miguel Ruiz. And you can get it on my website as well.
Okay.
I have it listed. All the books that I love and all the things that I love. Except for you, of course, you're not listed there.
I need to be there. You love me now.
I know, but these are the items you can buy.
Okay.
But I will list your podcast, of course. So anyway, so in the 4 agreements, it's don't take anything personally because it's not. Like I said, it's because she experienced trauma or somebody, whoever's, the issue, they experienced trauma. And if we can all just come to that understanding of like, we've all experienced trauma, large T, small T, little trauma, big trauma.
Yeah.
And if we can remember that when we're relating to somebody, we'll have a lot more compassion for them and then thus have more compassion for ourselves. That's the key is the more compassion we show for ourselves, the more we give to others. The more that we show to others, we give to ourselves. It's this back and forth relationship where you can just start to see the truth. And that's why I love EFT because it gets the parasympathetic on and you're just like, whoa, if I really step back, my mom right now is just blabbering about her programming, all the trauma that she's had, she's just pushing it on to me. That's the mastery of love. He talks about poison. When you don't heal yourself, you spit the poison back on somebody else. Yeah. And then that person then has the choice, and sometimes not really because of the programming, but the choice to either neutralize it, do something like EFT or take a walk or, talk to a therapist or whatever, or spit it back at somebody else.
Yeah.
So
wow.
A lot of times we have a lot of poison spitting that's going on instead of really healing.
Because people are just they're not aware. They're not awake yet to fix those things, right? To work on those things.
Well, the vibration on the planet is changing drastically and people are waking up. It's actually being documented.
Is that right? Well, I feel
so
it.
I talk about on the podcast. So there's something called the Schumann resonance. So the vibration of Mother Earth is changing. So for like 50 years, we were at 7.83 hertz. And now we're having spikes up to 40 hertz, so our bodies evolved to be in sync with the earth. Mm-hmm. And it's basically an unawake state. And now at 40 hertz, it's awake, it's anxiety, it's problem solving, it's like mind racing. So we dip in and out of this, but you can see, I'll send you pictures so you can see the Schumann resonance from March till now. It's just so incredible. Like
Is
you
that
can
right?
literally, they're measuring the frequency of the earth. So that's called the Schumann resonance. And then there's something that's called the Global Consciousness Project. So they have these eggs around the world that they monitor to see if they stop going random number generate. They're called random number generators. So if the numbers stop being random and they start like being consistent in some way, that means that the people in the area are experiencing, or around the globe are experiencing, a consistent thought pattern.
Oh, wow.
So like if they've put like an egg near, a sporting event, and they've seen that it changes because everybody's focused on one person or the other person winning. So before 9/11, there was a change in the eggs right before, actually 2 hours before 9/11 happened. So there's a change in the consciousness. So it also shows that you can predict that something's going to happen. So if they see it ramping up, they're like, oh shit, something's about to happen.
Wow.
Yeah. So then there's the eggs will also knew when 9/11 happened or other major tragedies around the planet. So Princeton is doing this global consciousness project. It's not like some joke place or
Yeah.
it's not like I had eggs all around the and I'm
Yeah.
monitoring
It's a
them.
legitimate,
It's
legitimate.
Princeton.
Right,
So
right.
it's pretty amazing, and with the George Floyd, everything that was going on with that,
Hmm.
there was a spike, there's a change in the global consciousness. So we are evolving, and we are all connected to the quantum field. And that's how I connected with you today. And we moved energy, and the people who are listening are also moving energy as we are. I've had many people who, when I do a group healing, they'll say, I can't believe the things that I felt and the things that I moved just by listening to you work with somebody else. It's
Yeah.
because we all are tapped in, and the people that are hearing this, it's so divinely guided. It's just, it's
I
mind blowing.
know. I literally do have goosebumps right now because that was just so magical to like crawl into your brain a little bit and be
Mind.
with you. Yeah. It's
It's
just,
a little crazy, but it's awesome.
yeah.
It's fun to be in here.
I legitimately, I want everybody to know that I legitimately I feel better right now. Like
Good.
I definitely do. Right before we got on the podcast together, I had done some clearing of energy, but I was feeling probably a little anxious, but I was feeling like I couldn't breathe, like I just couldn't. And I was telling you that I just felt like something was here, and I
Mm,
feel like I was clearing my throat a lot when we first started talking. I feel great now.
good.
You're
So
amazing.
thank you. So the breathing, that's, you can use the, well, so you can say, my breathing is at a 6 and you want it at 10. So it's the opposite of the scale. Because I'll tell you an amazing experience about this. I was working with a woman who was on oxygen. She was like miles away, thousands of miles away. She was on oxygen, and she was like, I can't breathe and I need help. And I was like, oh, I tuned in. It was grief around her mother who was about to pass. And the mother was in her space, like meaning living with her. And ever since she moved in, she progressively couldn't breathe. And then she put the oxygen on. So we're talking about the grief. And she had to take off the oxygen because she was getting too much oxygen, and she was starting to get lightheaded because she was starting to feel so much oxygen coming in. And I said, don't take it off until you tell somebody around you to watch you to make sure that you're okay. She's like, I know I'm okay. I'm like, I need you to tell somebody that you're doing this. So anyway,
Yeah.
so that was the amazing thing. It went from like her breathing was like a 3 or something, or a 2 or some crazy low. And then she got all the way up to like a 9 and without oxygen. So,
I can
so
feel there was a healing happening today.
yeah. So what
Same.
happens is your muscles constrict around your lungs, and that's where grief is held. And so if you aren't releasing grief, you're going to feel like you can't breathe.
Wow. You're amazing.
Thank you. I think you're amazing too. I mean, gosh, we were talking about some serious stuff in there, and you were so vulnerable. So I want to thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for doing it. And it feels really good to release it and start over. And I just, yeah, I didn't even realize I had that in there. That's the craziest part
Yep.
about this whole fucking thing, is that I didn't even know I had this hard work equals success thing in my head, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So I forgot
boy,
to mention in the beginning, I mentioned the 7th chakra is going to get a healing, and your role is now shifting of who you believe you are and how you attain success. So that's why that came up.
yeah. I know. I feel
Don't you
different.
feel an alignment right
I
now?
do. I feel, yes, I do. I feel different about it. It's crazy.
You look like a lightning rod of energy right now.
I
So
do.
in alignment. Yeah.
I look fabulous.
Yes, you do. You always look fabulous. But energetically speaking, now you look fabulous.
Now I look even better. I feel like
Yeah.
there's more light around me, or it just feels, I feel brighter. I feel like I'm kind of sitting up taller, you
Yeah,
know?
that's another thing that happens. Yeah.
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 God, Amy, you're so great. We have been talking forever,
I know. I
but
feel like we are both, your husband and my family, they're all
I
like, when are
know
they
they're
going to
like,
be
what's
done?
going on? But every time we get together, this is how I feel about you. And
Yeah.
I want to tell you though, we did, as we're closing, we did talk last time about me coming on your show, which I would love to do. And whatever you want to talk about. But I think one of the things that I was telling you is that, there are pieces of my story and my son and I story that I'm starting to, throughout my podcast series, talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming up in different podcasts that I'm doing, in different guests that I have. I'm interjecting pieces of it.
Mm.
And I have a podcast that people will have already heard by the time they hear this, but it's going to just kind of be an opening outline of kind of why I'm doing this podcast series and why it was called to me. But then I have a 3-part podcast that I want to do, where I'm basically talking about the 3 things which were called to me, which was around the mental health component, which is a part of my story and my son's, addiction, which is my son's, and obviously I have an addiction to
Emotions.
emotion and
Feeling.
connections.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just want to be connected to people. Like, that's my
Yeah.
thing, right? So
It's
funny.
but it's more about that validation. You were looking for that validation, which was causing the hard work. So
Yeah.
when you have that knowingness that you don't need to be validated, you just know you're doing your work, right? Because you're coming from your heart, you're doing what feels right. You're getting the
Yes.
validation from yourself. It's no longer coming from outside of you. It's not conditional anymore. So that piece gets moved away, and then happiness is within.
I'm so glad you said that right there. Okay. So that's the addiction piece. And then,
Mm-hmm.
there's the LGBTQ stuff, which is around my son and like our journey. So I'm doing it in kind of a 3-part. And so it would be awesome to do one of them on your show and have you interview me
Sure.
on any of those topics. So,
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
let's do some energy work and pray about it and think about it,
Yeah, think about what we're going to
and
do.
all of it. And then we'll do it. And I just want to keep doing this. I
It's
mean,
awesome, right?
yeah, it's amazing. And you're so gifted, and if anyone is listening right now that is, very curious about this and wants to change their life and change their energy, I really want you to reach out to Amy, because, your services are great. You've got
Thank
a
you.
whole package that you can offer for different variety of services, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And I have the You Are Energy series. So I go into energy and how it functions within ourselves and why it's important to know that we're made up of energy. It has the clearing of your energy in it. And also I go into EFT. So like deep into EFT on the series. And if they're interested in just want to dip their toe into understanding more about EFT, they can go to Stark Transformation /EFT, and they'll get
All
the
of that.
cards that have, the points. Cause a lot of people are like, well, I forget the points, so people print them out. I have one for adults. I have one for teenagers, and I have one for kids.
Oh, for all the tapping points.
Yeah. I'll
Oh,
send you the
good.
one of my son in the superhero costume outfit. That was awesome when I did that one. I was like, this is too cool. And
Oh,
I
I
made
want to
this
see
whole
it.
like superhero. It's called Tap Into Your Inner Hero. So I taught his kindergarten class
Oh my gosh.
using this board, and him and it's so
Gosh.
cute.
I want to see that for sure. Send that to me.
I will.
So I guess we have to say goodbye.
I know. For the sake of our families.
For the sake of our families. And I'm going to go drink a bunch of water now. And
Yes, please be gentle with yourself.
I'm going to go take care of myself. And I
Yeah.
don't care about my husband and what his needs are. No, I'm kidding.
No, I know. See, now you can take care of his needs and not have the trauma behind it, right? You can just do it because you want to.
I can take care of his needs and not feel angry that I'm having to take care of his needs.
Yes, exactly.
Because I have felt that way.
Yeah, that's the thing about energy is once you knock those dominoes down, you're like, oh, I want to take care of him. It feels good to
Yeah,
take care of him. So
absolutely. Absolutely. You're amazing. I love you. We need to
love you
meet.
too.
All right.
All right, talk
Talk to you
soon.
soon. Bye.